People keep asking themselves, why isn't their YouTube growing? And honestly, I am leaving that question right now in real time. I am posting consistently and yeah, I have low views. And instead of rushing to go fix it, I actually wanted to talk about what that phase, what this low view feeling gets to look like, what is teaching me right now. So this isn't a tutorial. This is me documenting in real time what showing up looks like. Like with that low view, what it's doing to me, that feedback on my confidence, on my nervous system, and most particularly my identity. So if you're in that phase, in that season two and experiencing this, yeah, stay close. You can actually let's talk about it. Let's jump on a call. I've got a link down below. We just have conversation on what's happening what's happening. What does that get to look like for you? So let's really get into this thing, right? And when we talk about not growing, what does it actually feel like day to day for me? Like, what does not growing feel like? I tell you, right? I would post like towards evening time for me, like, because I'm doing this every single day. Today is actually day 50. Come on now, of consistently posting here on this channel. Intentionally. I mean, I've been here for years on and off, but this time around, I really wanted to show up. And if you want to know why I'm like doing this, the intention, the video before this, I talked about it. And when we talk about the views, when I post in the evening, and then I would sometimes like before I go to bed, I'll check again. Or particularly, I wake up in the morning. I do like my morning ritual, and then I'm like checking, and then I do something. I check. Oh, 4 views. Okay. Then after a while, I check it. Still 4 views, and it got to that point. Like every time I checked, and it was still the same number. It's like, oh, okay, okay. It was bad. I had to then change it up and like, okay, now, Nene, we are not going to be focusing on before we check, let's create, let's do something either here or somewhere else. Let's do something and then we check. Than having to, if not, it was like every spare minute, my mind's going check, like how many views now, how many, and then if I come like, oh, they're like, ooh, and it was like, okay, remember why we're doing this thing. We're here for the long game. I had to keep reminding myself what we're doing and why we're doing it to just help with that day to day because it was getting to a point where like sometimes I wouldn't even do like my morning routine. I'm like, I want to see how many views like overnight that I got that bad. So I had to do something of just giving myself like, okay, before we do, this is what we're going to do, like plan it out that way. If not, it was now becoming, oh, okay, yeah, kind of like that. I had to reframe it. I had to start changing it up. Like we're in for the long game. We're in like what is we showed up, right? We did longer. So we started off with 8 minutes. Now we're doing 10 minutes, 12. Now we're up to 25, 24. Like whatever it is, like focusing on that, the reps of what I'm doing. That's how I'm kind of like dealing with those day to day. Like when that feeling wants to go like, oh no, baby, we're here for the long run. There have been creators who been posting, and then all of a sudden one of the ones that they've done like months ago kicks off, and now people have things to watch. So how I am dealing with that day to day feeling is like, look, we're just preparing ourselves so that when that peak happens, when that momentum starts rolling in and the eyeball starts showing up, we're ready. We're good. Like everything is in place to make sure that, we're steady, we're on it. And that leads on to when the feeling of that quitting and me like deciding to stay because the decision is for the long haul. And that's why I said, look, we're doing this in every single day, long form for the next year. So one, family and friends are aware. Joe Ball, I should say public. Everyone knows, like it's there. So for me to now not have that urge to quit, I've just made that decision that this is what we're doing, and we're gonna see what tends like how that's gonna roll. So that has also helped me in with a low view because YouTube's a long game in my eyes. It's like we're doing a long game. I started off with intention of wanting to improve my speaking to speak just storytelling and how freely I can express myself in this thing, in how I share my ideas and my concept and what's landing and course correcting. So every day I would post and then see what like how I watch it back. Yeah, some people don't like watching themselves back. I watch my back and just kind of like see what then they were saying to me and ums and ahs and so and this and like all that thing. Side note, I remember doing a job, right? As a freelance interpreter. And in the beginning, when I knew I had to work on my filler words, that I kept saying, and I guess the clinician got irritated and just said, I don't know. I busted out laughing. Like, and then the deaf person was like, what? Like, I kept using the word, and they're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. So we had to like and then being coming on here and noticing the like I am like I'm using certain words like then a pause, take a breath, then actually having to say yeah, like so like whatever. I catch myself midway and over time I feel like I am improving. And I feel by the end of the year of posting daily, my filler words should be like on check and packed and out the way. So that when I do go out and start being booked for stages and conversations, things like that, it won't be an issue. We would just be having conversation and it would just be so natural because I didn't want to be rigid. So I just said a so. I should have and carried on. And that's how I'm using what's helping me in terms of not quitting. Because that feeling of like when you're doing a thing and doing a thing and you feel like nothing is happening, just change the way you're looking at it. Like see what that like gets to look like. And I guess when this low view can really mess up with one's identity. Because when the numbers are consistently being low, especially if you're doing it for a long time, especially if the criteria to get something feels like a huge mountain to climb, like, oh my goodness, I have to get like that. It's changing the measuring tool is what I'll say, is how I am like dealing with what that gets to look like. Especially, saying, oh, you're a speaker, trainer, coach, and then people look at a thing like, oh, okay. She doesn't have the numbers, she doesn't have the thing, so we're not gonna like invite or whatever that is. And I feel for me, this is a space for me to like sharpen the iron, practice the thing, get the reps in, get the muscle of just expressing, coming up with ideas and just being able to just express oneself. So having and knowing that, okay, the reason I'm doing this is to improve myself in how I show up, in how I deliver, in not wanting to follow this strict structure of like, I have to hit all those T's and dot all these I's and like just free myself and just be me than having to be like, okay, yes, I am the coach right now, or I'm the speaker, and then this is what, like, no. That also freeing myself from that perfectionism thing has also helped in how I see myself on this platform. For me, YouTube has its own ecosystem. This has nothing to do with any like what my speaking thing is or what my how I coach my clients or all those things. This for me right now is just an expressive space that we'll see what happens. We'll see what evolves from this. It's not like I'm forcing anything on here. Let's just go with the flow. Intentionally structured, planned out how what that gets to look like. And that's how I'm able to, like, for me, handle my identity in that space, in that terms of like how I am yeah, wanting to deal with this. So it doesn't really mess up with me, because if I feel like, oh yeah, I'm the expert here, or I know my stuff and whatever, and then I feel like, oh gosh, yeah, but no one's like, nothing is coming down this way, or I have this, it can mess up with you. But when you free yourself in like how this gets to look like, giving it the time it needs to mature, and like, what can I do to change things up in terms of like, how do I want to, like, okay, this is what I'm doing, because this is the key, right? This is what the lens I'm going. There's no point doing something over and over and over again and then expecting a different result, or expecting that, okay, things will change. So if you just keep like, because in the past, I would just take stuff I've done from other places and just dump here or whatever it is. And then like, okay, now I'm like, no, let's work on our storytelling things. And now I'm more intentional about how can I make this like in the long run, and see if I can get to that point where I start getting more eyeballs and all those things. So by doing a daily thing and then watching myself and seeing and modeling other people who have been there and seeing how the progression. And this is the thing, right? In this current time, I don't know if you know this creator, I Show Speed. I hope that's his name. He's 21. He just hit 50 million on this platform, YouTube. And when he was 15, when he started out streaming, right? He had most days nobody watching, one view, and he kept going and kept going and kept going. Now he's at 50 million because of that daily streak, that thing, like just doing the deed. So when you like look at it that way, of how, even I'm using popular people like Mr. B. I think it was 2 months in when he said, I'm just gonna commit to like, I don't know how long, I'm just assuming, I'm just guessing here, right? Say 2 months. And then I think it was almost time for that time to clock. One of his videos just went off, and then he just carried on. You will never know. That's the thing. And that's how I'm going with this thing. It's here for the long run. I'm not here for the quick gratification, quick win, or whatever. It has to be sustainable. It has to be something that I can work with, and that would, you can see progression. You can see like how how things are happening, right? And that's the way I reassure myself in terms of like my identity, as not tying it to what this is. Instead, seeing like, I my goodness, and then look at how you express that concept, that idea. It really landed for someone. I would want to hammer on a point and really go for it. Now it's like, let it land, let it flow. So having that focus and idea is kind of like where I'm leaning into, and how I am dealing with how, what this is showing up. And even when I tell people about it, it's not a case of like, oh yeah, but you still have like, but check me out though. I used to speak for like 3, 4 minutes, like robotic. Now I'm going for like in the 20s and like longer and free flowing. We're having this conversation. Like, that's what I'm focusing on. That's where I'm like leaning into in this season. Because my thing is, when it does happen, people will have a bunch of stuff to watch with mine and have like be able to relate. And it's like collapsing time for when people find me and want to work with me. And it's like, hey, oh wow, love your energy. And repel the ones that don't like my energy or not into my thing. Like, oh no, you're too much. It's okay. There are billions of people out there that we can go work. It's all good. So that's how I am rolling with the identity side of what this low view is doing to oneself, how this gets to look like, how what is happening, because people at this stage would have they're gone. they'll be like, no, I can't. Like, I'm doing this thing and nothing is showing for it. Like, nobody's saying hi, nothing's happening. No one's even commenting, no one's even liking it. They're viewing it, but they're not even liking it. And so yeah, they check out. But no, we have the intention. We know why we're doing this, and we're here for the long run, and we're here for the like to see how things go. And then disappearing this season, we're staying on. We are committed, and we are doing our thing. We're building that muscle because you don't know what opportunities, even with the low view, can bring. I got a speaking gig, and one of the reasons they wanted me was one of the topics I shared. It's like, oh yeah, come talk to us about this one. If I didn't talk about that on here, would I have had that? Hey, let's come and speak to a wider group and share more of this. So this is what I'm saying. It's like, why? What's intention? Keep going. Let you know, and just focusing on the numbers. And the other thing that for me that I haven't done that would have helped, and when I done it has worked is cross promoting in other platform. Because what this is here is like I'm just like putting stuff out here and nobody knows. It's like having a shop front that nobody knows you. It's just there on the high street, but nobody comes. It's just there. No one's coming in because it's. I have a channel, but who knows? How no? No one. When I've like gone onto other platforms and say, hey, this is like I'm topic, put the link or whatever it is, and tell people, oh yeah, I'm on here. That video gets views. That then I get like people like subscribing and things like that. So yeah, I feel for me, I need to do more of that. I need to start when like knowing that there are other things that I get to do. And what I've also been doing that is helping, but it's picking one lane. For me, when we're scattered, like, because a lot of strategy works, especially here on YouTube, there's so many things that work. But when you're trying this person's method, you watch this person's video and then you want to try what they've said, and then you try this person's one and then try that one, you watch this video, or like you go and search like, okay, how to say grow my channel on this thing, and you see all those things, and this creator say doing this way, this one saying doing that way, that one saying doing this way, this person here, there, everyone has their own way of saying what you have to do. And then it's diluted because nothing is focused, nothing is like on point. So what I've decided to do is find someone I admire and a mentor and just see how they're doing this stuff, model off them, get ideas, get focus on, okay, this is what I'm doing. Every strategy works as long as you work it. But when you're mixing up things and not giving it enough time to materialize, then that's what the issue is. So now it's like, okay, now that I'm now wanting to be intentional and I'm now doing this a long run. Before it was just kind of like, okay, this is a space where people would just see what I do and then that's it. Now I'm more intentional about, okay, this is a long game, right? How can I start doing things to improve? I went on from my titles were just long, bogus things to now it's more focused and like more streamlined than making it more curious, not like a clickbait kind of like thing, but more kind of like, oh, okay, I have an idea. Oh yeah, I'm interested in that. Let me see, let me know more. And that's evolved over time. It's not something that I just like started and then I'm getting that. So it's giving my time, find someone, find a strategy, find a way, and give it the time it needs to show, like to materialize. It's how I'm playing it for myself. Like, don't just feel like, yeah, I'll try this person say, oh, do this way and that way. And do this one say, do that way. And I'm trying to do this way, that way, and that way. And then it's like, nothing's working. But it's like focusing on, like, I'm following this person's method right now. This is mentor I'm following. They don't even have to know you're following them or like using their style. You just need to like, okay, well, yeah. Let me try that for myself. Let me figure how that would look like and then take from there. And other thing that I'm doing in this season now that I'm now wanting to see is having learning time of learning more about how the system here works and everything, so that I can fully understand all the different, because you see things and like, oh, how playing around with, oh, what does this one do, and then have an idea of what this is. So having time once in a week or whatever to, for me to start understanding what this all the buttons mean and what this happened, and or they used this hashtag with this, are not using this. Okay, like testing and seeing is the lane we're going with, to, yeah, just see how that would work out, what that would roll. Because if we don't reassure the nervous system and making it feel like hard work, we'll lose that motivation, that interest, that zeal to want to keep going. And then we would become like, oh, I have to post again. And making it easy. I'm giving myself like a low hanging thing. It doesn't, right now, with the resources and the situation I have, it's, I'm using Zoom right now. Some people have like a special camera and whatever it is. I wanted something that was so easy for me to do right now. And over time, as more I have more time and more resources, I can then invest in other things. I'm using what I have right now. And it's like we start off going, and then before I upload, I just go on and take the front bit off before I like press start, and then take the end bit off, like go, hey, and then that middle, I mean, I can always go back and order the pauses and things like that. I could collapse that. But what's that going to be? If I feel that it's now going to be hard work for me right now, then I won't have that desire to want to keep doing it. It's like, oh, I have to edit. Okay, I have to put this flashing thing, or I talked about this, so I have to put the word in here and this here. I'm giving myself grace. That will come with time. That will come when I have the resources and the whatever, I can outsource that or whatever. But for now, we're making it easy. We're building the muscle of like, let it happen. Like when you see creators who are like wowsy right now, if you go back years when they started, it could have been just one blank screen or whatever that is. And then we are comparing our day one with somebody's day 1,000 and something. How does that make sense? So for me, I'm giving myself the grace of what muscle are we building in this season right now? And then once that muscle has popped, we will then add on a different element, and then we'll add on and then add on. Then going for like, ooh, let's get the pack, the 6-pack right now, when we've not even built the stamina to do a rep. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Because when you feel like, oh my goodness, do you know how much effort I put into this thing? I remember trying to get one of my sons to like just start showing up as well. And he was like, my okay, he's there editing and putting all this sound effect and different aspects of like him and this and that. And by day 3, he was done. I don't know if it was 3 or 2. It's like, oh, it's just too much. Because the effort, the entry level was just too high, that there was no way of sustaining that at this period. When the resources, you have other commitment, and then you're wanting to bring this A-class thing, give yourself the grace of just showing up. And as the traction happens and the resources starts flowing in and other things, we upgrade. We start adding other elements. We start adding other things that would support the evolution of our becoming to the next level and of that. But when we can, for me, what I'm doing is, it's not about the numbers, because it's not even like I'm guessing. This is a proven thing. People who are there, that we think like that we admire and things like that. Every video wasn't a hit. And when they started from 0 to, they started with a low view, and then one kicked off, and then it just started riding from there. So let's be patient, whatever how long it takes. We're collapsing time as well. And it's like some people do like twice a week, whatever. This is a daily thing. So it's like the feedback and the learning is quicker than if we're doing, okay, once a week, once a month, once, like if I was doing that, then the feedback isn't going to be as sustainable as I am getting now, because every single day, what do we get to improve on this and move on, and without pressure, because with pressure it affects the nervous system, and then we're like, this is too much work for me right now, I ain't doing this. No, we're building that muscle of like, okay, before it used to take us like almost 2 hours just to upload the one video. Now we can do it under half an hour. Okay, now let's figure out how we can change things up here and add this extra element to this and do this thing. Then it's fine. Building the muscle, then feeling like, oh, and then the what you're getting is not. So I didn't want to do that for me. I wanted to be something that it's something that I'm enjoying, not something that is frustrating or hard work or whatever. It's in flow motion of how things get to look like. So that's how we're dealing with this season of low view and working on improving and seeing how we can work. I'm leaning on one person, following the how that rolls, and yeah, and who knows? Things change as we evolve and grow and improve, and not focusing on that. So now it's not even like, now when I look at the numbers, I just like, yeah, what you mean? You and you liked it? One of you liked it? Then let's do something. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, I sitting down in my living room with four people and we're hanging and we're talking. Hey, and they're like, uh-huh. So yeah. So if you're in this season, it's all good. We get to ride this flow, this ebb and flowing in an upward motion. Would do that. And like for me, I just reminding myself, the long game. We've got this. We're better we're getting better at this. We'll add up all those glitters and shining and the dim light and all those things when we have the time and resources. Right now, I'm using a shared space. I'm using a family, like, I'm gonna like stress myself. Using what I have right now. But the people that I need to speak to is reaching the right people, because I'm getting like, it's okay. That's how we're rolling. Remember that your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Nana here. Bye for now.